Hi, welcome. I'm going to show you the planner stand that I made. It can hold a calendar, a traditional wall calendar. It could hold a spiral notebook calendar, or I'm also going to show you how it can hold just an 8.5 by 11 calendar. And so I'll show you different ways to display this, whether it's standing, hanging, or laying flat, and ways to get your calendar to actually stay on the stand. So let's get started. For this project, I used an old cutting board, and then I used a piece of trim that I actually had my husband cut down. So you'll see later in the video that it is cut down to a smaller size, and this is optional, and you'll see why later you might want to leave this out. Another option is if you have a machine that will cut, like a Cricut or a Silhouette, you can add some decorative vinyl to kind of jazz up the planner stand. So I'm using the permanent outdoor vinyl that's the Cricut brand, and I've cut this file. I'll have in the description box of this video where you can purchase this file. And if you don't have a machine that will do this, you can actually buy already cut vinyl at a lot of craft stores. And I'm using Glad press and seal method to attach this. You can find this method if you don't know how to do it. There's videos out there that will show you. Instead of using transfer tape, you can use this really inexpensive press and seal that you can pick up at the grocery store. Now this step with the vinyl is completely optional. So if you don't have a machine that can do this, or you haven't gone out and purchased vinyl, don't worry about it. You can just skip this step, or you could use paint to decorate the stand. You could do whatever you would like to do if you want to dress it up a little bit, but it is completely optional because, to be honest, this will be covered up by the calendar. So now I'm going to take that piece of wood trim that my husband cut down for me, and I'm going to take some Gorilla Super Glue. This is the gel, but use whatever really strong glue that you have. And if you weren't using a cutting board, if you were using a different piece of wood, you would maybe want to even nail this in, but I find that this super glue is incredibly strong and you only need a small amount. So whatever glue you're using, just follow the directions on the bottle. And I'm going to use this so that my calendar has a place to sit, it has a place to rest, so it won't just fall off. Mine will actually be laying flat, but I wanted to add this in case I decided to hang it or to find a way to have it standing up. So this is going to help keep that calendar on the stand. So now that I have my little stand on here, I've got my vinyl, this is how I'm going to leave the project, but I'm going to talk about a couple other things you might want to do, because I'm going to leave mine laying flat, but you may not want it flat like this. So I'm going to leave mine flat, and it's going to be here in the corner of the desk with my pens and Sharpies and things like that. And then I can just see it very easily. And this is my planner. Actually, see the shadow of my camera. The lighting in my office is not the best. This is actually my calendar from last year. I really liked it. It's got the monthly view, but then it also has the week by week view. And so I would put when I was working on projects, or when we were going to be going out of town, or maybe I had meetings. And then also before Harlow started her preschool, she goes 2 days a week for 4 hours each of those days. But before that, I was doing preschool at home. I would have each day's lesson plan, and then I would have activities for her to do at night, so that Colin was also involved in her learning. And so that's why I really like that. I don't need those daily lesson plans anymore, so I've actually simplified a bit this year. But this is a really good spiral planner. I got it at Michael's last year. Definitely recommend it. But for this year, I'm simplifying greatly, and I'm going to something that I did a couple of years ago, where I go into my calendar on my MacBook, so it's just Apple Calendar. I just print the month. You can have different options if you want a key, if you want it to link to your computer, and each month plan things that you have planned in your phone or your computer. I just did the very simple basic calendar with national holidays, and then I write in things that we have for the month. So I write in different things that we have planned, and then here I write in whatever projects I might be working on or I need to remember to finish. This Woolly Hollow video is up already if you want to go check that out. And so that's what I'm doing, and I actually made this based on the spiral notebook, but this works great. This is an 8.5 by 11 regular printer paper, and so this actually works out pretty well. So if you want to hang this, or if you want to have it up on an easel, here are a couple of things that you might want to add on top of what I've done. If you want this to hang on a wall, one thing you could do is on the back, you could add a sawtooth hanger, some type of wire picture hanger, anything like that to have this hanging. You might also want to buy an easel at a store, and you could set it in the easel for it to set up at an angle. Or you could get really creative and make a stand on the back. But since I wasn't worried about any of that, that might be things I add later. But right now I was planning on it just laying flat, so I am not doing anything to make it stand or hang. If you don't have any sawtooth hangers, or you're really on a budget, or you just want to quickly find a way to hang it with something you might have in the house, here is something you might want to try. So what you do is you grab a soda can and you take the tab right here that's off. You just wiggle it till it comes off, and you can either use a nail or glue, and you will put it here in the second hole, or really one of these. You can choose one of these holes to nail, or if you have something like this bamboo that you don't want to nail into, or you're afraid it might crack the wood, because we already know that this has had some problems with cracking, then you could just use hot glue, super glue, some type of glue to attach this tab. The other hole, whether top or bottom, you're going to want to leave, and that's how you can hang it on a nail on your wall, or even if you have a bulletin board. If your wood is lightweight enough, then you could take that tab and hang it on a thinner push pin than what I have here. These would be a little bit too big, but you could attach it to a bulletin board if you wanted to. If you are going to hang it, you may be worried that your planner or your calendar would slip off. So in that instance, I would either get a bulldog clip, which I don't have on hand right now, but I do have one of these. And what are these called? I can't think. I don't know. It's a clip, a big clip. You could just take it and attach it that way. If you need to, you can push that down. I'll attach the spiral notebook in a minute. We'll see how that works on there. So you could do it like this, or you can even find certain ones that, like bulldog clips, could nail into your board if your board was big enough, or even could be glued. But this is one way that you could keep the paper on there. Now let's see what it looks like with the notebook. Let's go far into the end of the year when it's going to be really heavy on one side. And so here we are in November, and it might be too hard to clip, but if I move it and then I put the clip on just the board part, and then I can use this, the lever, the part that is how you control the tension, then you could use that to kind of hold it down. And I'm holding this straight up. There's no lean to it at all. And straight up, it is not falling off because our bottom part is wide enough and this is holding it into place. You may wonder what's the point in putting this vinyl on here because you're not going to see it, but I liked it because it was a fun project. It also just makes me happy to know that it is decorated. So if you don't have a machine that will cut vinyl like this, don't worry about it. People aren't going to see it, so it's not that big of a deal. But if you wanted to, you can purchase files that are already cut, or you can purchase items that are already cut. Even Cricut sells vinyl that is already cut, and other craft stores will have similar options like that. Now, it does have some functionality to it as well because the vinyl actually hangs on to the paper, so the paper doesn't slip off because it does have a little bit of that, not stickiness, but a little bit of texture that holds the paper on, and so I also like it for that reason. Well, I hope this video gave you some ideas and inspiration on ways to schedule your year in a way that you like, that makes you happy, and makes you feel a bit creative. So thanks for watching, and I will see you soon. Bye!